Welcome to Geek Talk, where all we speak is geek, and unfortunately today, I'm gonna have to speak about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by March, and any interaction would really help with that. Thank you. And if you really like the content and want to follow me on my other platforms, all of my links are in the description down below. I already put a couple reviews out for it on my TikTok. I said it was ass. I gave it a 4 out of 10 at best. I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler light, but I've seen people say things along the lines of, "Oh, it's an Ant-Man movie. What did you expect? Like it's Ant-Man, like it's your fault for having high expectations." I've also heard people say things like, "Oh, it's made for kids," it's a kids movie. Like why are you criticizing a kids movie? Which I think is just like the laziest. It's just the laziest way to like deflect criticism. But I thought that it was messy as shit. It was messy. The CGI was rough at certain points. Like the actual visuals, I think were fine. Like there was some interesting stuff. There was some cool stuff even. But actually seeing the characters like in the environments, it all looked pretty awful. Like it reminded me of Spy Kids 3D and like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Like it was pretty bad. My expectations for the movie came straight from the trailers, right? And we're going to rewatch the trailers and we're going to go through them and we're going to actually determine whether or not my expectation was right, because I'm totally okay being wrong in this situation. But from the trailers, I thought this was going to be like this very epic, grand scale movie. And watching the movie, it just did not feel that way. It felt like super goofy. Like it felt like the most goofy that Ant-Man has been. Like it was silly as shit. There was a lot of comedy. And it was rough. It was rough, and I think that a lot of that has to do with my expectation. Like they were hyping up Kang as this like super serious guy, which he was. He was the super serious guy, but it felt at times as though he was not even a part of the same cast. Like that's how tonally different the scenes he was in were from the other just regular scenes in the movie. So again, we're just gonna go through these. We're gonna go through these really quick, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're at ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing.
Thank you, Spider-Man!
People still need help, Dad.
That's why we made this.
It's like a satellite for deep space, but quantum.
Wait a minute. You're
Okay, the change there is important, right? Because, again, people, when they said that it's an Ant-Man movie, like, what they meant is that the Ant-Man movies have never been serious. Like, they've primarily been comedy heist movies, which is true. You literally have Paul Rudd as, the star of the movie. And I think that up until this moment, the trailer's reinforcing that. It's like, oh, Ant-Man, happy-go-lucky, but the reason that they're doing it is to contrast from the rest of the trailer. Like, everything's fine, everything's good. Oh, wait, no the fuck it's not. Ah! That's what they're gonna do here.
a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
God, she is still just... This scene was hard to look at, honestly. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have to watch it a second time, but everything just felt so disjointed.
It's a secret universe beneath ours. What are you so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think. I can get you home. And give you more time. If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
Yeah, clearly this seems like a very epic movie. What they left out of the trailer is that right here, right at this moment, he fucking throws a quip and he's like, haha, funny shit. Like, no, they played this movie specifically up, and like I said here, it's like, oh, regular Ant-Man shit, and then it's like it takes that next step. And that's how this movie was advertised. Let's look at the second trailer. I'm sure that it's very similar, so just bear with me, but I just want to make sure here.
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want.
What's that?
Time.
He can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need, or everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
Okay, yeah, this one was even more serious. Like, this one was even more serious than the first trailer. So anyone who's saying, "Oh, it's an Ant-Man movie, what did you expect?" Obviously it's gonna be fucking silly and goofy. No, the fuck it's not. Because when they give us these trailers, we take these trailers and understand them to be the movie. Like, this is what they're setting up. This is the feeling that they want us to have. So yeah, when our expectation is crazy, incredible movie, and then we're met with just fucking silliness, it's a rough watch. It really is. Miss me with that bullshit. Like, MCU defenders just they bug me. I just want to see what the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 trailer was. Because again, silly, goofy movie. Like, this one's actually comedy. It's done well, but wow, that's a wow. What year was this?
Drop it now!
Yeah, hey, go, man. No problem. No problem at all.
Who are you?
Star-Lord.
Who?
Well, Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw. Forget it.
Okay, this one literally does the opposite. It's like, oh, all of the MCU movies you've seen up until now were relatively serious. This one's a comedy. It does the opposite that the Ant-Man trailer did. It sets up like this serious guy going into this place to steal this thing, and then he's quippy. He says like a joke or something like that. And I'm sure that the rest of the trailer is going to match that tone.
We arrested these 5 on Xandar. Check out the rap sheets.
Drax, aka the Destroyer. Since his wife and family were killed, he's been on a rampage across the galaxy in his search for vengeance. Gamora, soldier, assassin, wanted on over a dozen counts of murder. Rocket, wanted on over 50 charges of vehicular theft and escape from lockup.
What the hell?
Groot, been traveling recently as Rocket's personal houseplant slash muscle. Peter Jason Quill. He's also known as Star-Lord.
Who calls him that?
Himself, mostly. He's wanted largely on charges of minor assault, public intoxication, and fraud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, you pick up the tone immediately, and you know what to expect.
I didn't know how this machine worked.
Hey, that's mine. You son of a... Hey, take those headphones off right now!
They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
See, like, this is a perfect trailer. You know exactly what the movie's gonna be, and the movie lives up to that. Like, Ant-Man Quantamanium, I'm gonna call it Ant-Man Quantamanium because the Wasp has, like, 3 lines in the movie, and all of them are, Mom, why aren't you telling us the truth? Mom, tell us what happened. Why aren't you telling us, Mom? That's her entire character arc in Ant-Man. Ant-Man's barely in it, too. Like, he's there, but, I mean, he's like a plot device. Now let's do Thor Ragnarok, right? And just follow me here.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh.
And then I went on a journey of self-discovery, where I met you.
Where are we? You have no idea. Hela, the goddess of death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
No, I won, easily.
Doesn't sound right.
Well, that's true.
So, like, this movie right here, after Thor 2, like, no one really expected Thor Ragnarok to be this, like, comedic movie because Thor 2 was way too fucking serious about itself, and that's kind of what held it back. This is great. This is a trailer that tells you, hey, we're changing up the tone, have that expectation. And then they followed through on that expectation. All of the Quantamanium promotions, all of the advertisements was, hey, we're changing up the tone of the story. While Ant-Man 1 and 2 were less serious, comedic movies, this is going to be some real shit. Have that expectation. When you go into the movie thinking, damn, I'm about to watch Kang. I'm about to watch Ant-Man in a very serious situation. Perilous, it's fucking dangerous, all this shit, and then you're met with arguably the goofiest movie in the fucking MCU, bar Thor 4, then yeah, it's disappointing. Just off rip, it's disappointing. Whether or not the movie's good or bad, your expectation, it's like, they didn't even subvert your expectation, it was just a bait and switch. They just lied to you about what the movie was gonna be.
Asgard is dead. And it'll be reborn in my image. I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I need to stop her here and now to prevent Ragnarok, the end of everything. So I'm putting together a team.
Like the old days.
Surprise! This will be such fun. Hello. Hi.
He's a fighter.
Here we go! I'm not a queen or a monster.
Yeah, we basically get the idea. Like, it's an action-adventure comedy, and it lived up to what it promised. Yeah, this was a bait and switch. That's what Quantamanium was. It was an awful bait and switch, and I think that primarily the issue that Phase 4 has had compared to Phase 3, 2, and 1. And I hope that they're not going to do this with the rest of Phase 5, but each franchise, like, Captain America, Iron Man, they felt like character-driven stories. Like, it was about Captain America, right? It was about Iron Man. It followed their personal journeys. Now it feels as though the characters are being used as plot devices to push forward the larger story. Like Ant-Man had no growth in this movie. He almost had no agency. He just kind of did things. And all of it was basically just set up for Kang. It's the first episode of the Kang Dynasty, or it's like the first chapter of Phase 5. Like, it's supposed to be a movie in and of itself. It's supposed to be the conclusion to the Ant-Man trilogy. It should be able to do all of these things. For all of the awful things that Iron Man 3 was, it still was an Iron Man movie. It was a deeply personal story about Tony Stark. Regardless of how you feel, that's what they promised it would be, and that's what it was. And I'd watch that any day over Quantamanium again. It's just so fucking bad. It's so fucking bad. Another argument, and I'll just end it with this. I've heard people using this Rotten Tomatoes thing. They're like, oh, who cares what the critics say? People who are trying to, gaslight the rest of humanity into believing that most people like this movie. Most people don't like this movie. That's just not true. They keep referencing this here. They're like, oh, although the critics hate it, the audience score is high, so therefore the audience, because the audience score, no. 2,500 verified ratings, right? We have to understand that this movie's been out for 4 days now. 4 days. So the large majority of people that are going to watch Ant-Man, the Wasp, and fucking this stupid title, the majority of people that are going to watch Ant-Man, they are MCU fans, right? Like, they are people who love Kang, love the MCU. A lot of them are shills, unfortunately. Even your fucking favorite influencers, shills. So yeah, this is going to be skewed a little bit. It's going to be very skewed towards good. So just give it like a week or two, 3 weeks, fuck it, just to be fair. Since yesterday, this has gone down from 87% to 84%. So just expect the audience score to drop, and stop using this as a reliable argument, because if it does drop below 80, if it drops to 68, 69, you're going to look like a fucking idiot. Didn't Batman get a lower rating because it was too dark? Let's see. Got an 85% from the... Yeah, and I think that this is fair. I think that these are both very fair. But look at that, 10,000, right? So, let's wait until that number gets around 10,000. It's very easy to be at the 86% when all the people that have watched the movie are, fans of the product. Just wait for, regular people who... Oh, God, that 48% is so ugly. But, yeah, alright, I'm done with Quantumanium. I never want to speak about this movie again. I just hope to God that they do this man better. I hope to God that they do this man better. And the person who wrote this movie is going to be writing the Kang Dynasty, so... we can only hope. If you made it to this part of the video, then I'm assuming you enjoyed the content. And I appreciate that. I want to do this full time. But to make that happen, I need your support. So down there next to my other social media, there's a link to my Patreon. And if I could get just 5% of my total following across all of my social media to donate to my lowest brand, and if I could get just 5% of my following from all of my social media accounts to subscribe to that lowest priced one at $3, then I could dedicate all of my time towards improving the quality of my content here. So if you've got the $3 and you want to see me grow here on this app, just understand that I will make it worth your while. While I have yet to decide what exclusive content I will share on Patreon, just know there are things coming. And my first 100 patrons will be rewarded pretty well.